Okay, class, so in this video, I'm going to show you how you can copy and paste any type of keyframe that you create. And I'm also going to show you how to use your layers to create more detail or depth, and also how to do like a motion tween. So what I'm first going to show you is you can see that I actually took away the classic tween and I started adding other keyframes by duplicating and pasting. So they're just repeating themselves over and over again. So if I were to play it, you can see that my keyframes to my stars are just repeating themselves. So let's say I wanted to duplicate this keyframe, these three keyframes, okay? Or these two, I should say. Maybe I'll do three. Okay, I'm gonna do one. No, sorry, I'm being indecisive here. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. I'm going to copy these. So what I'm going to do is select the first keyframe, which would be the little black circle. I'm going to hold the shift key down and select the last keyframe. Then what I could do is right click and do copy frames. Okay. Then I'm going to move it to the area where it's all blank, right? I'm going to add more. I'm going to do right click and do paste frames. Right, so you can see is that it pasted frames. It extended it, but also know that you can move around your frame. So right now I don't want this. I'm just going to move it forward, like so, and voila. And I can also click on each of these, on the black points, and shift and move around each of these keyframes that I create. So if I wanted one to be longer than the other, I can move them around by clicking on the black dot to move and adjust each of those keyframes. If I go to play from the beginning, hit play, you can see that it's just repeating itself. And it made it longer again. I don't want you anymore. Okay, so you can also delete. So I can do select right key and do remove frame. And do remove frames, not insert frames, remove frames. And it will get rid of it completely. Okay, so there we go. So now it should move through totally fine. Voila. Okay, so a lot of adjusting going on here. So those are my stars. Remember, you could lock your layers. You can turn them on and off. You don't want to see them, just like in Photoshop or Illustrator. What I might also do is lock my background and my planets eventually, but I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to lock my background because I'm noticing when I'm playing around with it, I start moving my background. And you don't want to move anything, all right? The more you move, the harder it is to, or mess up like that, the harder it is to fix it, right? So what I'm going to do is just lock this so it does not move whatsoever. Now what I'm going to do is make my UFO into a motion tween. So what I was thinking about doing was having him fly into the picture. I wanted him to go behind planet Earth and then fly out of the picture and then fly back in front of this other planet. Okay, and then he's going to be kind of looping around in that direction. I might have him get smaller and then bigger as he comes back out again. All right, so creating a keyframe. Well, another thing too, I'm going to do this first, and then we're going to take the Earth, because we might make the Earth another layer, because in order for him to go behind the Earth, I need to make the Earth a layer on top of the UFO, right? Things to think about. So what I'm going to do is select my UFO. I'm going to click on and highlight my UFO layer. Okay, make sure you're on the correct layers. Okay, then I'm going to select by right-clicking on the UFO. I'm going to do create motion tween, hit OK to make it a symbol, and then I shall begin my my motion tween. So I'm going to have them end back here. So I'm going to have my motion tween just extend down this way. Then I'm going to pull it out in this direction. That's kind of the direction I want it to go in. All right, so he's going to fly around, whee, like this, back into the picture, and then continuously loop back around. So I'm going to say, like, here, I want him to start here. Then maybe, let's see, let's swim through this area here. Maybe around here, I want him to get, well, around here, I want him to get smaller. In fact, maybe he's going to go behind that planet too. Actually, I want him to get smaller here, right? So even though it's not in the picture, I want him to leave the picture getting smaller. So now I'm going to take my scale tool, holding the shift key down to keep him in proportion. I'm going to scale him down, right? Then I'm going to swing him back around again, and he's going to stay this small. And then maybe around here, he's going to get bigger. Maybe around here he's going to get like a little shaky. Whoa. Let's see what happens when I do this. Like his spaceship is, you know. Whoops. Keep him in proportion. Falling apart. Okay. And then we'll just rotate it like that because he's still in the picture. Now he's out. Okay. So let's play this and see what happens. He gets smaller. He gets bigger. Whoa. I kind of like that. Now, here's the thing. I might want him to get a little bit smaller, but so I can adjust it. You know, I can go to each of my keyframes, like this one, for instance. Maybe I'm just going to have him get a little bit smaller, right? So let's see what happens now. Whoa, let's try it again. Yeah, see, he's going to get a little bit smaller and a little bit bigger. And then he flies out. Okay. So, so here's the thing. Right now he's flying around in the front of every planet, but I want to give it more depth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer. Okay, so I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to put those planets in there. Sorry if I'm pausing because I'm doing this like as we speak. I haven't really practiced this at all. I'm just making decisions on the fly. So I'm going to take the planet Earth, and I'm going to take this Mars planet here. By holding Shift key down, I can select individual objects. And I'm not going to copy them. I'm going to cut them because I'm going to cut them and paste them into layer 6. So I'm going to do Command or Control X, and then just cut them from the picture. Ay, hold on. Very important. Look at what frame I'm on. Okay, I'm on like frame 2. I need to cut them from the picture at frame 1. I don't want that messing around with my frames. So remember what frame you're at. So I'm going to cut the, oh, do I have to select them again? Okay, let's select them again. Select. So remember, it's important to remember exactly where you are because if you don't, that's when things get messed up. Okay, now I'm going to go to frame 6. I'm sorry, layer 6, frame 1. I'm going to paste my planet Earth. So I'm going to call this one Earth. Okay. And this one is just planet. We'll call this one planet stars. Okay, because there's stars on it. Okay. And I need to, so right now if I play it, you'll see nothing really happens because the Earth and the other planet crater planet are still below the UFO. So what I want to do is take this layer and put it above the UFO. So now if I hit play, woo, look at that. A little dimension there, right? So, oh, and you can see actually my stars are, he's flying behind the stars too. So you could do something similar too where some of the stars are above and below him to create that really cool dimension that you're trying to get. So if I wanted to loop this now, loop it all the way through. This would be an example of my moving animation, right? So I've got images that are being scaled up and down. I've got moving objects like the UFO. I have colors that are changing, images that are going behind and in front of different layers. So this would be a good start to your moving animation. So remember, you should have at least 2 moving animations and then at least 2 buttons. So right now this would be perfect. I've got my UFO that's moving along a motion tween, and then I have my stars that are moving along a not a classic, but just keyframes for now. But you can make it classic if you wanted to. I kind of like the idea of this being a keyframe layer with multiple repeating keyframes. It just looks smoother. So that's that. So then I would now move into buttons, right? So if I were to click on something, it would be a button that would link you to another page if this were some sort of a book. All right, I hope that's helpful.